Here we go! Let's go! Oh yeah, Mario time! Huh. Oh yeah, Mario time! Ha! Let's go! Oh yeah, Mario time! Huh. Let's go! Oh yeah, Mario time. Yeah. Let's go. Mario number one.